Gonna start in 30 seconds.
Got it, Councilman.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Trayon White, and I serve as a council member of the Great Ward 8 right here in Washington, D.C. I'm also the chairman of the Committee on Recreation, Library, and Youth Affairs. Today is Friday, February the 16th, 2024. We are meeting remotely using a Zoom platform. The time is now 9:32 a.m. and I'm calling to order this performance oversight hearing on the Mayor's Office of Volunteerism and Partnership, also known as ServeDC. The Mayor's Office on Volunteerism and Partnership is better known as ServeDC, is the District of Columbia's government agency that's dedicated to promoting service and strategic partnerships as an innovative, sustainable solution to pressing social challenges. ServeDC promotes volunteerism and social services across the city with strategic community outreach and engagement. ServeDC manages a portfolio of services, connect DC residents with meaningful volunteer opportunities, and establish partnerships and collaborations among community and faith-based organizations, the private sector, and the local and federal government. ServeDC receives federal grants from AmeriCorps and manages AmeriCorps State and National Service Program, which provides ongoing service opportunities and address critical needs, especially connected to our schools. I look forward to this testimony from our public witnesses here today in discussion with our government witness. Today, we will also be joined by the Chief Service Officer of ServeDC, Chief Service Officer and Director of ServeDC, Jermaine Ellison. We're going to go with our panel of witnesses first, public witnesses, then to our government witness. We're going to start with Gavin Ware, Managing Director of External Affairs at City Year. Jared Stancombe, City Year Associate Board Member. Claire Kruger, Staff Attorney at the Public Defender Service of the District of Columbia. And Fatima Fields. Good morning, Gavin. Long time no see, man. You done moved on up.
Good morning. Good to see you. All right. Good afternoon to our city council members and fellow community members. My name is Gavin Ware. I proudly serve as the Managing Director of External Affairs with City Year, Washington, D.C. For those who are unfamiliar with our work, City Year is a national education-focused nonprofit that believes all students deserve thriving K-12 environments. We do so by leveraging the talents and passions from AmeriCorps members ages 18 to 25 who provide additional support in classrooms across D.C. AmeriCorps members can support everything from one-on-one small group tutoring in math and literacy, social emotional learning, as well as before and after school enrichment programs. So they are less teachers' aides and more student success coaches who supplement the education already taking place in classrooms. City Year has served the DC for nearly 25 years. In partnership with our education leaders like the folks here at DCPS, City Year is excited to leverage the talent and passions of AmeriCorps members to provide additional support in classrooms across DC. The renewed investment from our partners at ServeDC allows us to recommit to another year of service and in pursuit of our collective vision towards educational equity. It is my privilege to represent City Year as an AmeriCorps alum and now a staff member. I've been a part of this amazing organization going on 12 years now. I started my service with City Year as an AmeriCorps member, serving in a fourth grade classroom at Farabee Hope Elementary School. As a recent college graduate during the 2009 recession, a business major with all the ambition and little opportunity, I still had no plans of giving a year of service, nor did I anticipate collaborating with a teacher for 11 months of service. Little did I know that in the fall of 2010, my experience with a dynamic elementary school would forever change my perspective on my career, my perspective on education, and lay the foundation for me to dedicate my life to the service of others. I had the privilege to work with 14 different schools in the district, recommending dozens of AmeriCorps members and staff to be education professionals here in the district and abroad, all while advancing my belief in the power of this community. The continued investment from ServeDC will not only allow us to not only build on the local workforce, but we will also continue to build opportunities for our youth to serve as near peer supports in their classrooms, and that we hopefully create more AmeriCorps members, which incidentally will nourish this beautiful cycle of service. There are currently several City Year AmeriCorps members who themselves are former students that have worked with an AmeriCorps member, which then became a teacher in the district or another civic leader or in the district serving as in many different talents. You'll hear from one of my colleagues later about his experience with our organization as a fellow alum and current City Year Washington, D.C. Associate Board member. This has only been made possible by the continued partnership, investment, and support by the Mayor's Office in DC. Once again, thank you for your time, consideration, and valued partnership.
Thank you. Jared?
Yes, good morning. My name is Jared Stancombe, and I'm a proud member of the... Good morning. My name is Jared Stancombe, and I'm a proud member of the Associate Board of City Year Washington, D.C. I want to thank you all for your time. Thank Michael Stevens and Gavin here for inviting me to speak. I proudly served as a City Year Corps member at Kramer Middle School in 2011 and 2012. Gavin was also there with me on staff. I was medically discharged from the Marine Corps Officer Candidate School in January 2011, and City Year provided me another opportunity to serve. After my service year, I moved to Zambia, where I worked with refugees, and then to India, where I worked for an education nonprofit focused on teaching children life skills. And these kids were all living in severe poverty. I taught kids on 2 continents the banana dance. And I think Gavin taught us how to do the banana dance and working with elementary school children. I am now a senior consultant with a company serving the National Risk Management Center at the Department of Homeland Security, where I'm supporting efforts to assess cyber threats to critical infrastructure. And I don't think I would be where I am today and have the experiences I've had without my service year with City Year. City Year, I believe, prepared me to take on anything. As City Year says, City Year is always ready. City Year is some of the best leadership training in the world, and I've been through several leadership trainings. It trains people to become more engaged and active citizens, ready and eager to address the challenges of our time. City Year provides the knowledge and experience for them to become effective teachers, social workers, principals, nonprofit professionals, public health workers, and in my case, cybersecurity professionals who serve the DC community, our nation, and our world. I believe that City Year needs this committee's support. City Year's presence in the schools is important to both the development and growth of children in DC schools and the development and growth of young leaders who have stepped up to face the critical challenges of our time, such as the achievement gap. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Kruger? Not seeing Ms. Kruger. Let me go down. Fatima Fields? Not seeing Ms. Fields. All right, I'm gonna start with you, Mr. Ware. First of all, thank you guys for your service. I think that the work you guys are doing and have done create a stronger strength in our schools, you know, filling in the gaps, being there not just as a body, but someone who's educated, engaged, and able to help guide our young people. I was there coming through the school when you guys were at Furby Hope, doing great work and expanded all throughout the city. You know, you were young at the time, didn't have, you know, some of the face you had. You have Mr. But I think it's important to have individuals in front of our students that they can mimic and become. Sometimes we become what we see, and we don't become what we don't see, right? And I think that's important. And I was happy to over the years support the work that you all were doing and expanding it, because at one point we didn't know what was going to happen with City Year. I think it was about 7 years ago.
Mm.
And we buckled down and supported the work, and we look forward to doing that. I wanted to ask you, Mr. Ware, you talked about peer support. What exactly is peer support, and how is young people involved with that?
So we want to take near peers. So myself, being an age that is above the near peer that we're looking for, so 18 to 25, we want somebody who can relate to the students a little bit more and allow that mentorship. So that relationship would then feed into what we hope is the academic relationship. So I would like to say you can't really work with somebody until you know who they are. Once you get past that relationship, then you can start talking about, let's talk about our literacy work. Let's talk about our mathematics. Let's talk about the social emotional learning gaps or improvements that we can work on. So when I say near peer, I'm thinking of folks who are in the 18 to 25 who can really connect with students in our schools today.
And are you recruiting for that age range? And if so, how do you recruit for that?
So yes, we are currently recruiting. So currently we have a community partnerships director out there who goes to our local high schools at some recruitment fairs. You may have seen Elena Bryceland Betts, who also served with me in 2010. She is now our community engagement director. We also have a local recruiter, Ian Adderley, who is out there with our local universities as well as our local high school partnerships. So and you can also apply to City Year online at cityyear.org. But yes, we are always recruiting. And I think one of the things that I mentioned in my testimonial today is the fact that when I was an AmeriCorps member in 2010, the students that I actually was serving at the time have now since become AmeriCorps members. And we're seeing actually a increased number of local students who are applying to be AmeriCorps members and want to give back to the community because of that representation that you mentioned in that visual education. You know, if you see someone that you appreciate in a position that you didn't know you could have, you then may want to aspire to that position. And I think that visual education the AmeriCorps members provide has been the coolest thing for my tenure in this experience in City Year.
So Mr. Ware, I met you in college, man, and you always had a bright future, very smart, intelligent, with a heart to give.
Thanks, man.
What drew you to going into AmeriCorps City Year? What drew you to do that?
So honestly, I didn't have any plans to serve. I actually thought that I was going to be either working for Enterprise or working for Kraft Foods at some, very different position. And graduating during the recession, those jobs no longer existed. And then there was an opportunity that came up to serve, get an education award after that experience, and then having, all this kind of like service experience that you could put on your resume as I gave a year and then went back to the workforce. And during a time where the workforce wasn't really there, I figured why not? And it actually changed my perspective on education. You know, as a business major, I never thought I would work with kids, and I ended up loving the experience. But also, I realized that my level of effectiveness wasn't met in the classroom. It was leading others in their service and creating the experience that allowed them to be successful in the school. So when I figured that out, I realized that, oh, that doesn't have to just be a year. I could make this a career. And following those experiences and the mentors that I've had, including Dr. Michael Stevens, I'm able to be here all these years later after graduating from UMES with you, man, and figuring out that this doesn't just have to be a year, it can be a career, but also I wouldn't have had those opportunities without the continued mentorship. And I think that's the one message I definitely want to harp on today is the mentorship for that year changed my life, but also the mentorship for a year with the student who is from this area or not can change a life or the world. So I really appreciated that experience.
Thank you. Speak to your partnership with ServeDC.
So our partnership has been ongoing. And again, yes, there has been in flux over the years, but ServeDC is one of our biggest supporters, one of our biggest partners in the district, which allows us to have AmeriCorps members in schools.
Got it. Mr. Stancombe, you talked about your training you received that pretty much catapulted you to doing the other work.
Yeah.
city year, what type of training, what type of tools, what did you learn there that gave you that strength training to go to these other places?
Yeah, so I was kind of like Gavin. I was looking just for an opportunity to serve, and after I was discharged from the Marine Corps, I wanted to serve in some capacity, and I believe that working in the schools would be a good way to spend that time and spend a year. So at Basic Training Academy, I do remember Gavin, I do remember the others teaching us really about teamwork and effective communication, uh, having empathy for others, and really preparing us for the situation in the schools. In the schools, priorities can rapidly change. Events can happen, and it's all about how you respond to that matters. So I think that the training that I received in City Year, in terms of teamwork, communication, working with others in a very rapidly changing, dynamic environment, and having to juggle so many responsibilities really prepared me to do work abroad. I actually took my Idealist Handbook abroad with me, which is a book that was issued to all City Year Corps members, and I gave it to my country director of the nonprofit that I worked with in Zambia. So I figured that the education, the training, the skills that were encapsulated in that Idealist Handbook needed to be shared with someone who was making a difference, and I shared that with her. So working with the kids too really helped me learn how to manage my priorities, how to manage difficult situations where sometimes there's no clear path to progress. So you have to choose an option and you have to just roll with it. So, yeah, so I believe though that, City Year, just the experience, immersion with the kids, being with the team every day, working in a very fast changing environment really helped shape me to tackle, challenges abroad, and also how to tackle the changes of our challenges of our nation, working in cybersecurity with the federal government.
And let me
So,
ask you this, Mr.
yeah.
Stancomb, are you from the DC, from DC?
I am not. So one thing I've noticed as an associate board member, as Gavin said, uh, is more and more people locally in the DC area are becoming Corps members. I'm from Indiana,
Okay.
and back whenever I served, I noticed that a lot of people moved uh, from somewhere else to serve in City or Washington D.C. Now it's more local. It's far more local, and I think that some of the kids that were around whenever I was a Corps member, probably, through the experience of working with Corps members, they may have become interested in City Year and served. So, but I have noticed a real shift in recruitment in where local young people are signing up to serve, which I think is a real benefit.
Do you all still have the partnership with Earth Conservation Corps?
I don't believe so, actually.
Well, well. And outside of primarily doing work in schools, what other areas or government agencies are you all connected to?
Not too many. So we mainly are just building out, I want to say relationship partnerships, but the main one being building relationships with your office council member and other council members across the district. But yes, sorry if that answers your question.
Yeah, it does. And how many Corps members do you all currently have?
Currently, right now, given our new wave of mid-year AmeriCorps members, we are about close to about 85 AmeriCorps members.
Okay. And on average, how long do they stay connected with you guys?
So we do currently have two different programs right now. We have the full year AmeriCorps member program, which goes about 11 months. And then we have some AmeriCorps members who serve about 8 months, considering when they apply. So we have full year AmeriCorps members who start in August, AmeriCorps members who may be mid-year AmeriCorps members who have just started in January. So we continuously have waves throughout the year because our students may cycle in and out, or our Corps members may cycle in and out.
And if you can send me any flyer advertisement you have, that'd be helpful to me. I know I do have some visits to some high schools coming up. And maybe you guys can join us. We have a panel at Blue Senior High School. Um, let me see what date that is. I want to say the 29th. Okay. Give me 1 second. But I think the more information and options youth have, the better the outcomes.
Mhm.
Okay. February the 29th at 1 o'clock at Baloo Senior High School. There's a panel there with some of the students. I don't know if you all can participate or send someone there. But that'll be beneficial. And I think we're doing a KIP school sometime coming up as well. But we
Okay.
have to give our young people options. Because the more options they have, the more they even make wise decisions. Because there's so much negativity pulling on the minds of our young people this day and age. And some go to college, some go to career, some go to the military, some just go get a job, some just trying to figure it out. And so the more options we give our young people, the better. And I appreciate the work you guys been doing over the years. And been seeing some remarkable work, especially around tutoring helping to close the literacy gaps, not just in Ward 8, but across the city. How many schools are you currently in?
We are currently in 16 schools, or 17 schools, excuse me.
All right. Well, I want to thank you guys for joining us this morning. We're going to move from this panel over my time to our government witnesses. I want to say keep up the good work and don't forget to send me that information. Matter of fact, I'm going to send you my information now so you can get it, so we can get the word out and coordinate if you are able to come out to some of the school things we're doing throughout the district.
Will do. Thank you so much, council member. Really appreciate it. Great to see you.
Sir, guys, have a blessed day.
You
Thank
too.
you.
Now we'll move to our government witness, Jermaine Ellison. If you can be elevated to the panel. Okay. Oh, sorry. Check 1, 2. Correct your name for me, please.
Jermaine Dillon.
I apologize. I have the wrong information here. Charged to my head and not my heart. Sorry.
It's okay.
This is Jermaine Dillon. If you have an opening testimony, you can go right ahead.
Sure. Good morning, Chairman White, members of the committee, our witnesses who are joining us today, and members of the public. My name is Jermaine Dillon, and I have the distinct honor of serving as the Chief Service Officer for the District of Columbia and the Director of the Mayor's Office on Volunteerism and Partnership, known to most as ServeDC. I'm pleased to be here today before you to discuss the progress and performance of the year over fiscal year 23 and fiscal year 24 to date. ServeDC is the Mayor's Office on Volunteerism and Partnership. In the past year, we have worked relentlessly to create cohesive systems and programming that reflect the Mayor's vision. Today, I am proud to share evidence of how we have embodied the power and possibilities of our mission by bringing diverse constituent groups and resources to the table, connecting funds, knowledge, and service opportunities to residents, business leaders, and philanthropic entities alike to create shared solutions for our city. ServeDC collective actions support Mayor Bowser's commitment to our city's comeback by supporting opportunity-rich neighbors, impactful business, and thriving people. Our approach is fueled by the vision and our ability to create and energize ecosystem that connects each act of service from need to action in response to our city's most significant challenges and needs. Through grant funding, strategic philanthropic partnerships, volunteer and service opportunities, and targeted capacity building and amplification, ServeDC continues to meet the moment with audacious, adaptive, and actionable ways. I plan to use my time with you today to provide evidence from our fiscal year 23 performance outcomes on how we are actively answering the mayor's call to be bold, think big, push the envelope, and above all else, win for all Washingtonians. We recognize ServeDC's critical role is achieving the goal and continue to posture our time and efforts to serve as a connector, a curator of service, community convener, capacity builder, and conductor of donations and resources that our city and residents across all 8 wards deserve. As a connector, ServeDC in fiscal year 23 maximized our impact by being a chief connector, not only collaborating with our inter-district government agencies, but also connecting socially responsible corporate and philanthropic partners to our most deserving communities and needs, and connecting local community faith-based organizations to meaningful volunteer opportunities, funding, and capacity building possibilities. Our volunteer donation portal is one of the most vital vehicles for connecting ServeDC to its thousands of constituents and partners. This virtual platform, launched during the onset of the global pandemic, local influences Local influences like DC Women Professional Soccer Team, Washington Spirits, we are making significant strides to closing this gap and looking forward to connecting our efforts even into the summer months. In the same way, ServeDC connects people to purpose via our portal. Our funding resource alert connects thousands of residents and nonprofits to funding power and possibilities. This biweekly publication is a touchstone tool within our office that provides a customized offering of local, federal, and private grant and funding opportunities, supporting critical focus areas such as education, health, human services, youth and families, racial equity, and public health. Additionally, we include mayoral initiatives and other free offering trainings and resources that will better position nonprofits to build and sustain capacity. Finally, through this alert, we amplify our district government funding opportunities and platforms, including live links to our citywide clearinghouse, DMPED's Obviously DC site, DSLBD's funding alert, and many others. While we place prior alerts on MOCA websites, we also share a schedule. Hence, readers know when to expect this valuable tool and amplify our funding features via social media and monthly newsletters. In fiscal year 23, ServeDC also played an instrumental role in connecting the business and philanthropic communities to organizations and government entities as we work collaboratively to address social challenges. For example, our connection and efforts aim to make the holiday brighter for our city seniors through our annual signature holiday partnership, including Safeway Feast of Sharing. This unique and festive event, powered by partnership with Safeway, DPR, Events DC, and hundreds of volunteers, allowed over 3,000 senior residents to commune with old and new friends and allowed them the ability to sit down for a traditional Thanksgiving meal all together. ServeDC is also proud to serve as a chief connector for the mayor's Maternal Infant Health Summit in partnership with the Mayor's Office on Women Policy and Initiatives by way of connecting external corporate, philanthropic, nonprofit, and thought leaders and partnerships to support the critical initiative. To date, ServeDC has helped to solicit and secure over $1 million in investments over the past 5 years through the engagement in internal and external partners like Aetna, Sibley, Johns Hopkins, MedStar, United Health, GW Hospital, Carol's Daughter, and Johnson & Johnson, just to name a few. These partnerships underscore Mayor Bowser's vision of a multi-sector approach as we provide residents with confidence and evidence of our collective efforts. ServeDC as a curator of service. From addressing food insecurity through large-scale days of actions to support DC comeback, our district volunteers and community-based organizations continue to rely on our ability to create meaningful service opportunities across the city. In fiscal year 23, ServeDC's signature service days fueled our efforts to become the premier service provider for traditional service-oriented days like 9/11 Day of Service, MLK Day of Service, and our Global Youth Service Days. Across these 3 seasons of service days, as they are commonly referenced, we activated approximately 1,000 volunteers to pack over 200 pounds of food, secure and donate over 200 coats, hats, and gloves, and arrange and directly distribute 200 emergency go kits and grocery boxes to seniors residing in Ward 8's Arthur Caper community. And we also did a creek cleanup, gardening exercises, and educational instructions regarding community gardening as well at the well at Oxen Run, in partnership with 40 middle school and high school students, the Office of Clean City and Green Scheme. ServeDC as a community convener. We have emerged as a community convener through the success of events like ServeDC's All-Core Member Conference. The All-Core Conference is a cornerstone for professional and leadership development aimed to fortify AmeriCorps' members' growth, capacity, and retention in DC. Aligned with federal AmeriCorps funding and performance measures, this convening was a crucial support system fostering dedicated members, growth, development, and connections. In response to the current socioeconomic and health crisis, we focus on acknowledging the additional stress points faced by members serving in communities. Overcommitted to improving the quality of life and well-being and dignity of children by strengthening and empowering families through tough life decisions and creating future goals. The AmeriCorps Volunteer Generation Fund grant enabled ServeDC to introduce federal funding by way of grant to 5 new grassroots organizations designed to produce multimedia tools to increase their capacity to attract men and boys of color, to serve as volunteers and mentors. Through a series of in-person webinar sessions, ServeDC designed the grant offering to include technical assistance and office hour support as applicants worked to prepare submission material. Awarded grantees received additional support in establishing or expanding their volunteer recruitment tools by participating in a week-long learning cohort focused on effective volunteer recruitment strategies and data connections, and reporting best practices. Through this comprehensive funding and community building support, grantees are primed to attract and secure additional ServeDC and AmeriCorps funding opportunities. ServeDC as a conductor of the donations and resources. In fiscal year 23, ServeDC served as a compliance conductor for over $30 million in-kind and financial donations to support some of our city's most significant priorities, including education and recreation, health and human services, public safety, the environment, and government operations. Additionally, our team provided regularly scheduled donation management trainings to district agencies to ensure each achieved by equipping residents and community-based organization. Sorry, I lost my page. Achieved by Sorry, I lost my page. In fiscal year, served as a compliance conductor for over 30 million of in-kind and financial donations to support some of our city's most significant priorities, including education and recreation, health and human services, public safety, the environment, and the government operations. Additionally, our team provide regularly scheduled donation management training to district residents to ensure each is aware and aligned with compliance rules of conduct as outlined in our 2022 Mayor's Order. ServeDC continues to play an integral role in our city's review and approval of acceptable donations making by coordinating and implementing mandatory policies and procedures related to the solicitation and acceptance of private donations and coordinating review of agency requests to solicit such contributions in consultation with BEGA, the Board of Ethics and Government Accountability, the Mayor's Office of Legal Counsel, or the Mayor's Office of General Counsel. In fiscal year 23, ServeDC continued to enhance and use our quarterly donations report to provide a clear visual representation by way of graphs and charts to more clearly demonstrate essential data such as donation type, the source, and allocation, along with the names, dates, and amounts of each donation that is now housed in our Mayor's Office of Community Affairs website. At ServeDC, we maximize our knowledge and understanding of our city's most significant challenges and design and curate active and equitable paths for all to create shared solutions. To do this, we ensure that the mayor's priorities are met. This statement has provided all we have done to promote the mayor's vision of revitalizing downtown, promoting public safety, strengthening our sports, and promoting hiring in 23. Community resilience and public safety. ServeDC also seeks to increase capacity of our community resilience in response to natural disaster, emergency, and/or crisis. We achieve this by equipping residents with community-based organizations with life-saving and sustainable training and skills. We continue to seek to understand our local landscape and emerging threats on a hyper-localized level and champion our efforts to support this approach. In fiscal year 23, collectively through our Community Emergency Response Team, which we call CERT, we were able to provide CPR and we were able to provide CPR training to our Summer Youth Emergency Preparedness Academy. We provided over 100 community resilience trainings to residents and stakeholders. Additionally, we partnered with community servant organizations and graduated 62 DC CERT members, adult members, and we did 38 CERT youth volunteer members, including subgroups at the Fontroy Center, located east of the river in Ward 7. We also expanded our reach to assisted government agencies, including DOEE and MOCA, where two cohorts produced 23 new CERT members. To expand our reach, we aim to train 20 new residents per ward in fiscal year 24, totaling 160 new CERT members by the end of fiscal year 24. We also focused on some of the mayor's priorities. So downtown, we participated in fiscal year 23 at the National Building Museum for DC Startup Week. That has evolved in the fastest growing startup community in DC metropolitan area with over 11,000 entrepreneurs. The annual 5-day convening has become a hub for connection, collaboration, and celebration within the thriving entrepreneurial ecosystem. With over 100 expert-led workshops, talks, networks, sessions, and pitch competitions, DC Startup Week catalyzed the growth and education of the DMV startup community. The event brings diverse perspectives, fostering an environment where innovation can flourish, exploring racial equity and financial empowerment topics further demonstrated ServeDC's commitment to inclusive and resilience. These discussions contributed significantly to fostering a more inclusive and resilient city. In conclusion, ServeDC role as a community convener in fiscal year 23 was marked by excellence, collaboration, and tangible impact. The agency effort addressed present challenges and laid the groundwork for more resilience and united city. I commend the team, dedication, and achievement in serving in this diversity needs for the community. For the 6th consecutive year, ServeDC participated in this DC Startup Week. Our SYEPA program. In 2023, ServeDC hosted the 11th Annual Summer Youth Emergency Preparedness Academy, which introduced 38 high school students and pre-college age students to emergency management professions, public safety experts, and careers in DC Fire and EMS, MPD, National Guard, DC Department of Health, U.S. Department of Homeland Security, U.S. Army, and AmeriCorps. Youth participated in public safety peace walks, engaged in civic volunteering with Martha's Table, and created 2 public service announcements on gun violence and opioid crisis. Meeting weekly, SYEPA participants with ServeDC met with industry professionals to map out career goals and learn how to prepare and apply for college. The work accumulated with organized college visits to University of Georgetown University, as well as Howard University. ServeDC's goal with SYEPA program was to prepare our city's youth to pursue careers that serve the public for good. To that end, students became certified, training in disaster response tactics, including techniques to stop the bleed and until help arrived, CPR, fire suppression, and disaster psychology. ServeDC also partnered with a local firm, providing professional headshots for all participants that could be used for professional networking. In addition to supporting student professional development, SYEPA offered opportunities for social and emotional development, with students attending several Fun Fridays events to bolster team building skills and interpersonal relationships among their cohort. The success of the 2023 program was also possible through the partnership of JP Morgan that allowed ServeDC to increase their wages from $15 to $20 an hour. We also participated in our Aussie bus drivers training. ServeDC partnered with HealthBest and Red Cross to train and certify 956 Office of the State Superintendent of Education bus drivers in CPR and first aid in fiscal year 23. Fiscal year 24, we intend to do the same thing. We have actually started those courses. They should start at the end of this month, and it'll go through the remainder of the fiscal year. This program ensures public safety compliance when transporting our district students to and from school. I'm happy to say that we are continuing our partnership with Aussie for this fiscal year. In fiscal year 23, ServeDC supported sports. In the spirit of service, ServeDC provided over 100 DC residents volunteers the week leading up to the day of the Major League Soccer game. Volunteers tackled several assignments, including field and firework presentations. Then, the day of, the volunteers ensured the guests and partners were present and accommodated, and all displays for the event went throughout without a hitch. Audi Field representative appreciated ServeDC's assistance, which played an intricate role in such a significant sports event for Washington, D.C. We support Ward 8. We are located in Ward 8, and we support Ward 8. ServeDC is a strong champion of shaping and amplifying the spirit of service within our city and has found great synergy and success in convening our annual Spirit of Service Community Day and Awards. We call it our SOSA event. For fiscal year 23, we held the awards at the beautiful Gateway Pavilion. This convening empowered us to celebrate and commemorate the rich legacy of connecting people to purpose through service. By celebrating those who seek to do good within our community, the SOSA Awards honor district residents, community-based organizations, and business that display a remarkable commitment to service and volunteerism, national service, philanthropy, and community resilience. The Convenience Community Day design allowed us to not only recognize award winners like the founder, Tiara Branton, and her organization Opportunity for Deserving Students, Ward 7's senior CERT volunteer, Mr. Henry Parker, and UDC freshman and ServeDC SYEPA program participant, Natal Jackson, but also provided space to highlight and celebrate the over 200 nominees who represent every ward and act of service within our city. Ward 8's Rise Demonstration Pavilion is the perfect backdrop for family-friendly Community Day. We welcomed over 250 attendees to fully engage with over 30 local government agencies and community-based organization offerings and resources, along with tasty food provided by Wegmans, Grub Rock Star, and Tacoma Station. The day would not be complete without a service activation, so we also equipped attendees to build 200 plus toiletry care kits for our neighbors experiencing homelessness at the nearby 801 Men's Shelter, which is on the grounds of St. Elizabeth. This convening is only possible with the vision and support of our mayor, our commissioners, Reed Rodell, ServeDC staff, and our event MC and local activist media mogul, Easy Street. In closing, I would like to thank Mayor Muriel Bowser for the opportunity to lead our city's efforts to advance service and collaboration. I would also like to thank my staff at ServeDC who every day go above and beyond to execute our mission and bolster the mayor's vision for our city. I look forward to further leveraging the support of our commissions and many partners to help us champion volunteerism and service in the District of Columbia. And lastly, Chairman White, I want to thank you for acknowledging and advocating our work and for the opportunity to speak before the committee today. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Appreciate that testimony. Very lengthy and detailed. We can stop there. I think you guys are doing some tremendous work. And we want to ensure that we are leveraging some of the work you're doing with some of our other government agencies to get people involved. In the work that I do, I often get messages and DMs about people wanting to do different things. And so I think we need to partner more to ensure that residents are involved in things happening throughout the district. I want to ask you this, Director Dillon. You currently have 2 vacancies.
Yes.
Deputy Director of Finance and Compliance and Public Information Officer. What is the timeline for fulfilling these positions?
Both positions will be filled by the end of this month.
So you already have candidates in the pipeline?
Yes.
Okay. Great.
Yes, we've completed interviews, so we do have some candidates that were interested.
Of the training sessions your office hosts, which one would you say are your hallmark or biggest events?
The ones that we host, I would think that there's actually 2. That would be our all-core convening, as well as our Spirit of Service Awards.
And is that SOSA, the same thing?
Yes.
Okay. You talked briefly in your testimony about you guys helping to facilitate fundraising. Can you speak in detail about what you do, how you do that, and also the amount you have done in 2023?
Yes. So one of the biggest ones that we continue to help facilitate is going to be the Maternal Infant Health Summit. With that, we partner with, as I said, MOPI, which is our Mayor's Office on Women and Policy Initiatives. we partner with them to talk to different hospitals and doctors, which can talk to the example of how we can better women's health. When we talk to them, we also offer them the opportunity to sponsor, and we will give them a sponsorship packet. And they pretty much tell us how much they think they may want to sponsor, what kind of ads they may want to put out in different events like that. This past year, for fiscal year 23, we were able to assist in facilitating just over $300,000 in sponsorship for that event.
Are there any other events in which you facilitate sponsorship or donations for?
So donations can be different. So some donations may be that there's an event and they may need meals. We will help with facilitating those as well in accordance with DC government's donation agreements. So donations can be different things and sponsorships can be different for different events. So it depends on what the need is for that particular event, how we go about, getting sponsors or donors for that.
Okay. And what happens with the money once donated?
Once donated, it goes to whatever the event category is. So just say, for example, I decided to donate to the food for an event. It will go to that vendor that is requesting the food, or it can go to if they want to provide, it could be tablecloths for an event. The funds will go to that tablecloth owner.
So monetary donations, are they going to the DC Treasury? Is it a certain pot of money that the money go to? Can you speak to that?
Sure. According to the donation agreement is where it will specify the pot of money that it goes to. So if they are donating to the police fund or something like that, then the funds will go there. And all of that will be spelled out when they do the donation agreement.
And spell out what your role is in facilitating that.
My role in my role in facilitating that is we house that in our office. We have one gentleman that actually works with making sure that those donations agreement are in compliance with BEGA, as well as other facilities. So what we do is make sure that all of those agreements are in place before the donor actually donates.
That's what I'm looking for. Thank you. I appreciate you sharing that.
No problem.
All right. Also, I know historically, you all house the Office of Partnerships and Grants to get information about philanthropy, private donors, foundations to the community. Can you tell us where you are with that work?
So we do have a deputy director for finance. I'm sorry, for partnerships, grants and partnerships. What we do is we make sure that, of course, we are networking at events that we go to. We get invited to a lot of events, and that is where we find our partnerships. When there are events that we may just know about and we want to try to find a partner for it, we'll put it out to the masses and make sure that, the partner that we get to assist us with an event or come on board with us is solely, on point with whatever's going on, whatever that event is.
Got it. I know you have your Chief Executive Leadership Ascend program. Can you give us an idea how long that program, how many people participated last year?
I would have to find that out for you because I'm not very familiar with that particular program.
Okay. How many organizations would you say is connected to ServeDC?
In our portal, we have, at last check, just over 250 organizations registered in our portal.
How many volunteers do you have signed up year to date?
Right now, we have 10,040 registered on our portal.
And what is your goal? Have you met your goal? Are you close to your threshold? Where are you in relation to trying to recruit?
I don't think we ever reach our threshold. We would love for everyone to be able to be in that portal and be able to facilitate any kind of event that we have going on. So I don't really have like a specific goal. I'm looking for all of our residents to be a part of it.
And what month do you do your nonprofit capacity building town hall? Because we would like to know when that is.
Sure, we haven't scheduled the date for this one as yet, but usually we try to aim it around August, July, August.
Um, and thank you for that because you all have participated with us in partnership with us, doing a town hall around nonprofit engagement and capacity building, which is extremely helpful to the community. I would like to know when that is so I can push people that way because I get a lot of calls about that. There's people wanting to start a nonprofit, wanting to get involved in the community, wanting to volunteer each and every day.
Yeah.
I like the work you all are doing with that. I know we had DC Startup Week this
Yes.
year.
Yes.
And I want to know which industries were more prevalent for the startups that participated.
There were more entrepreneur people. They wanted to become, first of all, CBEs for DC government in whatever industry they were in. But most of them were startup companies that started as just informational companies. But now they want to move into whatever we have going on in DC. They want to become a part of that. So what we found was there was just so many people that just wanted to come in and figure out how they can get into being a CBE for DC.
Yeah. And I know you talked about some of your trainings, CERT.
Yes.
I think you mentioned one more. Try to capture that in your opening testimony. I think you said you all did 62 adults, 38. I was unsure if you were saying youth, but you said 68 adults and 38 other. I didn't know the other youth.
Yes. The 38 was our use from our SYEPA program. We'll continue to do that again this year so that not only are we equipping the adults to be able to help in any crisis, but also our students. They see way more than we do. So equipping them to be able to be a CERT team member will help out our city.
Got it. And I know typically we use SYEP, SYEPA.
Yes. So it's our Summer Youth Emergency Preparedness Academy.
And this year you increased the amount. Tell us a little bit about that and how many youth.
So we had 38 students in our fiscal year 23 program. We intend to do the same thing this year. We were able to increase them from $15 to $20 because we applied for a JP Morgan grant that allows us to give that extra leverage.
Got it. We've heard today from some of our AmeriCorps workers, and the work they're doing inside the schools. How many organizations received the AmeriCorps grants this year?
There was 18.
18. And how would you describe your partnership with AmeriCorps and City Year?
They are one of our largest grantees where they have, as he said, several schools as well as several AmeriCorps members.
And what type of supports do you provide for them?
So we provide them with the funding that they need to be able to continue to work in that capacity. And they work as teacher assistants for those schools that they're located in.
And what when I say support, what type of like oversight, what type of technical support? How besides just giving them the money, how is the relationship?
The relationship is great. We do have a whole national service team that periodically goes out to visit all of our grantees. They make sure that they're in compliance with all of the federal regulations that we have to make sure that we're in compliance with by doing these walkthroughs. Period. We try to do it like once every quarter.
Got it. And I heard you talk about the peace walk. What was this peace walk and when and where?
So the one that our summer youth and employment students went to was located over on Minnesota Avenue. And it was, I believe it was in July of fiscal year 23.
Was
They
this something
participated in that.
was this something you hosted or something you supported?
No, something we supported.
Got it.
So during the summer, we try to make sure that our students are supporting all of the activities that we have going on around DC, whether it's open streets or just some sort of event that's going on. It can be downtown, Ward 8. We make sure that they get there during the day.
Thank you. I just tasked one of my staff, Ukia Hughie Wilson, with contacting you all so we can know when these things are happening.
Okay.
If we should, I assume you have some type of listserv to go out. And I don't know if I get it, but I'm gonna make sure we are aware of some of these things that's happening so there can be some synergy there.
Okay.
And I noticed that you are doing a lot on social media. What I don't know if you all have adopted the platform TikTok and reaching the demographic of folks on TikTok. I'm not on TikTok, but
I'm not on TikTok either, but we're not saying we won't be. We're trying all of the platforms just to see where we get the most energy.
and where are you getting the most energy and how do you decide what goes on social media?
So we get the most, we have the most followers on Instagram, but I can say that we started LinkedIn about November and now we're up to well over 260 followers. So we're doing pretty good there as well. We try to share everything that we have going on in our office, events that we go to, just kind of having the community say, okay, these are things that we can come out to. Anything that's going on in our MOCA agencies, we are also making sure that we share those items there as well.
Gotcha. I feel convicted. I haven't been in LinkedIn in over probably 10 years. So I gotta up my
You need to
job.
follow it. It's really good.
Okay. I gotta check it out. I'm gonna ask Miss Jules to help me with that. Um, ServeDC saw 3 grant opportunities with AmeriCorps. One was the competitive formula, and VGF. How much money was given to each grant?
For VGF,
Yeah, I think it's 3 categories: competitive, formula, and VGF.
so for our formula grant, it was just a little more than $1 million. It was just about $1 million that went out to, though we are actually a pass-through entity for that. So it went out to, I think it was 11 or 12 grantees. And then we have our VGF. We did 5 grantees that their prices, their amounts ranged based on their need. And they were between 50,000 and 10,000 amongst those 5 grantees, totaling $163,000. For competitive is 3.5 million, and that was city years money. And we're passed through entities for all 3 of those grants.
Okay. I know this year we had a little bit of snow.
Yes.
You have your Snow Heroes program. Tell me, and I suppose it's snow tonight. I'm not sure how
Yes.
much. I think I saw 1 inch, so I assume
Yeah.
it's not. Maybe I don't know. But tell me a little about your Snow Heroes program.
Sure. Our Snow Heroes program currently is serving 580 seniors around all 8 wards. What we do is we have snow heroes that go out to these homes. They clean it off. They shovel everything out. as well as make sure that they put salt down. Doing this ensures that our seniors are able to get out if they need to go to an appointment without hurting themselves. If EMS has to come in for some reason, they are able to get in. So our whole purpose of this is to make sure that we secure safety for them.
Okay. And how many volunteers does this normally bring in?
So we have 217 individual volunteers where we give them 2 to 3 homes to take care of, but we also have nonprofit capacity as well. And they get a much larger list of homes to go out and service. So we make sure that all 580 of our current residents are able to get cleaned up.
For those who are watching, how can someone sign up to, especially senior citizens, sign up to get those type of services?
So usually what we have is a DPR waiver. I'm sorry, DPW waiver, and they will sign up for that and we'll get those names from that list. Now, with that, the list right now is being worked on. So most residents do call into our office through 311, and they can sign up through the Galaxy Digital portal as well.
Thank you. What about a website?
I'm sorry.
What about signing up online? I heard you say 311. What about online? And do you have a direct number for your office?
Yes, we do have a direct number for our office. It's 202-727-7925. And they can go to serve.dc.galaxydigital.
That's different.
It'll take you straight to the page, so you don't have to go through navigating through the whole site. We try to make it as easy as possible.
Thank you. I appreciate that because I have a hard time and I'm on websites all day long in the government. I do know that you did a volunteer generation fund. Can you speak to what that is and where the funds went to?
Yes, so our volunteer generation funds are the ones that we were talking about that's VGF.
Okay,
And
BTF, yep.
yes, it went to 5 grantees that focused on gun violence.
Okay. And do you have in front of you who those organizations are and what they do?
I have the name of the organization. I can send you a blurb on each of them, but I can at least give you the name of them at this moment.
Okay.
There would be Alliance for Concerned Black Men. There is East of the River Clergy. There is National, what was the name of that? Jobs Not Guns. Opportunities for Deserving Children. And Dream Center.
I was at the Dream Center last night.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They have a group of men who mentor some of the boys from various communities. And so I was the guest speaker there last night. I was there till like 10 o'clock. I'm like, wow, these kids gotta go to school tomorrow. Well, maybe they don't. I guess they're out today or half a day, something.
Yeah.
Thank you for that information. And I think it's important because as we travel throughout the community, there's a lot of issues around public safety, as you can imagine. And we often ask as government officials, what's out there, who's doing what, who's getting what funding, what are some of the outcomes, where are they working, are they in my neighborhood? And so this helps me to be able to facilitate some of those conversations and connect people to those resources that may be in their community. And I'm very familiar with all of these organizations. I've worked in partnership with each of these right here in one capacity or another. In fact, I was impressed by OFDC's Girls in Tech program, where they were recruiting young ladies from Wingate and Cedar Gardens. It was either Cedar Gardens or Butler Gardens, and getting them in tech. And they had a big old showcase downtown. They were building robots, and even though it was young ladies in tech, it was male kids there as well. So it was fantastic. So I'm familiar with a lot of work that's happening with these organizations. And I'm happy that you are connecting with them. And there's so many more, and the need is just so great. So if everyone chip in and add to the pot or add value to the work, and we can make our city a safer city.
Yes, and I also want to highlight, with a part of that VGF grant, we did a Men and Boys of Color convene on December the 4th. With that, we were able to partner with Tony Lewis. We also had Easy Street as the moderator for that event as well. And we had many other people, Tia Bell. I mean, we partnered with I believe it was 10 schools. We ended up with about 80 students, 80 young men there, and they were able to get some knowledge and just figure out how to move past certain things that they have been privy to.
That is amazing. I think we have to do more of that. Early in this hearing, I talked about a panel we are doing at some of our local high schools. We're starting with Baloo on the 29th. And I think we have to do more showing up for our young people to hear from them, right? Because sometimes they hear from us, but we need to hear from them and figure out where are the gaps in services. I think last year I did 2 youth hearings, but still not enough to empower, hear from, and engage youth in spaces that make them feel safe, feel comfortable, and opening up. And I'm empowered by the work you guys are doing. Because if I always say this: if everybody do a little bit, it equal a whole lot. And so, and I know you are able to tap into some volunteers with people, resources, and just all types of gifts and talents to add value to the work of the District of Columbia. Director, I think you've answered most of what we had on this committee today. Your testimony was very lengthy and informative, and I think that's critical for us understanding how we help the agency fulfill its mission and vision and fulfill its purpose and provide oversight and accountability to do that. I do have a number of questions, not in this hearing, but around budget, which we'll talk about in the near future.
Okay.
So I want to thank you and your team and all the volunteers across the district and all the organizations that are in the communities, in the trenches, doing great work. And we want to increase that work and do more to help people and empower people to be their best selves. And so, as a final note to this hearing, if anyone cannot testify and would like to testify, would like to submit written testimony, you can send it to RYA at dccouncil.gov. And official record will close Friday, March the 1st, 2024 at 5:30 p.m. Well, for no other business before this committee, the time is now 10:43 a.m. and this hearing is adjourned. Thank you. Have a blessed day and a safe weekend.
All right, you too. Thank you.